This week, it's time to actually enter Hellfire Citadel, take care of whatever Gul'dan has created, recruited, or summoned. I'm going to talk about the story behind the bosses within the Citadel, we're going to talk about the ending of the entire expansion, and we're going to talk a little bit about what the future might bring. For those that haven't seen the ending of the raid yet, or that haven't done Hellfire Citadel at all, be warned, there might be spoilers in this video. If you don't want any spoilers, then please turn off the video right now, and let me just say thank you very much for watching, hope to catch you next time. For those sticking around, there are a bunch of bosses to talk about, so let's begin, shall we? The Hellfire Citadel, a massive fortress, was also built in our reality. Back then, it was created for Warchief Blackhand, the first Warchief of the Horde, who was really just a puppet of Gul'dan. In this reality, Gul'dan was never able to convert Blackhand into his ranks, so the Citadel was never built for him. Instead, it was Garrosh who suggested to Grommash that they should build this fortress. When Garrosh encouraged Grommash to begin construction of this massive stronghold in the heart of the Naan jungle, to serve as a staging ground for the assault of Azeroth, he even suggested the name Hellfire, pulled from a different time and different land. He dreamed of seeing the mighty orcish iron towering over an unblighted landscape so very different from the wastelands that he had known in Outland. But even as times change, so do they stay the same. As Gul'dan has now seized control over the Iron Horde, he managed to convince the orcs to drink the demon blood, and he changed the look of the Citadel to be more to his liking. This introduction brings us to the bosses within Hellfire Citadel, and the very first encounter is called Hellfire Assault, in which we turn the massive Hellfire cannons in the Citadel's courtyard against the mighty Citadel. During the fight, we first face off against Siege Master Martok. A bunch of orcs are being dropped down with iron stars upon us, and cannons are sent to try and take out our cannons. It's interesting to mention that these siege weapons, they were created with the help of the Blackfuse company, and this company goes back all the way to the Siege of Orgrimmar, in which we took out Siegecraft the Blackfuse, and as we did, he warned us that his legacy would live on. He was telling the truth, since Garrosh took with him a few of the blueprints and designs the Blackfuse had created, and with them he upgraded the technology of the orcs. It was never really explained how or when the remaining Blackfuse company made their way to Draenor, but considering that there are portals popping up all over the place, we're getting reinforcements here and there, it doesn't seem that difficult to get to Draenor. Blackfuse influence doesn't stop with the first encounter either. The second fight, the Iron Reaver, it was also designed by Blackfuse, but those that have leveled during the Burning Crusade, you'll probably remember the nightmares of a fell Reaver showing up behind you. The schematics for the Iron Reaver were found in the workshop of Blackfuse himself after the fall of Orgrimmar, drawing inspiration from the mighty constructs of the Legion and designed to be the nefarious Goblin's masterwork. They completed this project after his death. It's been enhanced with some delicious fel magic, and with it, Martok tries to take us out.
Burn, burn, burn!
No fel Iron Reaver will stand in our way, and as Khadgar builds up some teleportation within the Citadel, we move ahead and we take the battle to the Magneron Cormrock. Not much to say about this creature. We've seen many variations of them throughout Draenor, and Cormrock is an ancient as Draenor itself, and he once ruled Gorgrond. The creatures of the land got out of the way of this gigantic Magneron's destructive fury, but despite his legacy, despite its description, he was captured by the Iron Horde, and they tried to break his will. Nothing they could do could make this Magneron kneel down in submission, but that all changed when Gul'dan, he took over, and he offered some delicious fel power. Cormrock could not resist, and now serves the Fel Horde. Next up is the Hellfire High Council, a combination of Shadowmoon Clan, Bleeding Hollow Clan, and the Burning Blade Clan. Thousands of Iron Horde orcs accepted when Gul'dan offered them the Blood of Manoroth once again, but very few grew as powerful as these three did. They now serve Gul'dan as both his High Guard and Council of War. You have Dia Dark Whisper, master of void magic and an outcast of the Shadowmoon clan. She quickly rose to power as the left hand of Gul'dan, and unfortunately not much else is known about Dia. It's unexplained why she became an outcast of the Shadowmoon clan. Perhaps they already knew that she was part of Team Gul'dan, and considering that Gul'dan was not on friendly terms with the Iron Horde, perhaps that's the reason why they sent her away. Void magic is also a subject that's been kept in the dark. We've seen Ner'zhul and the Shadowmoon clan use it, of course, with void creatures, resurrected the dead. But other than that, there's still a lot of lore to be filled in.
The void, it hungers.
Blade Master Ubitals also played a small part in the story within our reality. For those that have played Warcraft 3, you might remember the campaign where Arthas and Kel'Thuzad did reclaim the Demon Gate to communicate with our command. Ubitals was trying to defend the Demon Gate since they believed that the Scourge was an impure race to the demons and that they were truly chosen by the Burning Legion. In this reality, Ubitals accepted Gul'dan's gift of the Demon Blood, and since we killed Azuka Blade Fury, it's speculated that Ubitals now commands the Burning Blade clan.
For the Burning Blade!
The last member of the council is a dire orc that you might remember from the Black Temple. It's Gurtak Bloodboil of the Bleeding Hollow clan. His hunger for blood was insatiable and he has emerged victorious out of 100 trials by combat. He was only bested once in battle against Ubitals himself, which ended as a draw, and dire orcs, they're pretty rare and can be created in several different ways. Considering that Gurtak is part of the Bleeding Hollow clan, he was most likely transformed into a dire orc by one of their blood rituals.
Iron Horde will crush you!
Now the might of these three clans combined, they tried to hold us back, they tried to take us down, but they failed of course, leading into a fight where we find an old friend that's also been transformed by a blood ritual.
Why do you resist your own blood, Ariok? Give in to your rage. Release me from these bonds, and I will show you my rage, Kilrog! The choice is simple, Ariok. Submit or die.
It looks like Ariok succeeded in finding Kilrog, but he was unable to kill him. They've placed him in chains, and a steady flow of demonic blood is pouring down on the dire orc, either converting him to serve the Burning Legion or killing him in the process.
I will die before I serve the Burning Legion!
We face off against the warlord of the Bleeding Hollow clan, the one that sacrificed his own eye to see a vision of his demise and the way that he should lead his clan. During a story in Lords of War, Kilrog Deadeye was shown that he was supposed to kill his father and take leadership of the clan. Marad tells us this tale, he tells it to Varian, and the image that they used when talking about Kilrog's demise, it shows him dead on the battlefield with Alliance and Horde banners in the background. This is not the way that Kilrog died in our reality. In our reality, it was Danav Trollbane that took the kill with an Akundun. This led some believe that the image shown would be the moment of demise within this reality, but again, that didn't happen. As you can see, he's going to die in Hellfire Citadel. I believe that they explained it by saying that Marad had no idea what exactly was shown to Kilrog, and the image could just be a representation of Alliance and Horde taking him on and taking Kilrog out. It's also possible that they had a different storyline in mind for Kilrog, that this was not the end that they envisioned, since first he followed Gromash, then later he switched sides to Team Gul'dan. It seems to be a little bit off for someone that has seen the future. Sure, you could say that he's only seen glimpses, but you have to wonder if Kilrog always knew that Gromash would fail, and if he always knew that Gul'dan would take control. If he has seen the future, could he have changed it? Couldn't he have warned Gromash about what's to come? The future is not set in stone, as we've seen with the whole Wars of the Draenor setup, so why didn't he change it? I guess that if he did, then we wouldn't have the raid as it is today, and the storyline wouldn't be what it is. Now during the fight, we see a few reinforcements show up. They try to reach the pool of blood to become dire orcs themselves. In Kilrog, he will suck you into his eye with an ability called Vision of Death. Fell energy pours from Kilrog's eye sockets, transporting enemies who bask in his light to the moment of their doom. This moment of doom has us standing together with Khadgar as we fight countless waves of demons, and this makes some speculate that this Vision of Death is actually a hint for the next expansion, and I'm not saying that it's impossible, pretty much anything's possible at this point, but to me it seems unlikely. We've just finished off an expansion with a lot of Legion influences, so it would be repetitive to straight away fight the Legion once again. On top of that, we had a similar experience during the fight with Garrosh. If you remember, Garrosh showed us his future with Stormwind burning, with heroes spiked along the walls. This vision also never became a reality. So like I said, it's not impossible, but it could also just be a cool vision of a future that could happen if we fail. Naturally, we don't fail the fight. We take out the warlord of the Bleeding Hollow clan, and we give Kilrog the death that was shown to him. If you do it fast enough, you can actually save Ariok from the torment and recruit him as a follower. Otherwise, all you have left is a pile of bones. Usually lore-wise, that means that Ariok survived the encounter, as we've seen with Gammon during Siege of Orgrimmar. You could actually let Gammon die, or you could help him with the siege, but lore-wise he survived, and I think the same goes for Ariok.
I am in your debt, heroes. My strength is yours.
From the dark abyss below Akendun comes the next boss, one formerly known as Terangor, now he's known as Gorfiend. The first of the Death Knights created by Gul'dan in our reality. On this Draenor, he was first captured together with Gul'dan and Cho'Gall, and they used him as a battery to power the Dark Portal. We liberated him to disable the Dark Portal, which allowed Terangor to join the assault upon Akendun and jump down to feast on thousands of souls. All that delicious power has created this beautiful, beautiful being, and the Fel Horde has convinced him to come to the Citadel.
I must have more souls!
Not much else can be said about Gorfiend, except that if you die, he will actually eat you up, he will try to digest your soul, and considering that he's been feasting on the souls in Akendun, and Maraad was last seen within Akendun, I wonder if Gorfiend actually ate him.
I know I may not return. But if there is even the barest chance of preventing the atrocities I witnessed from happening again, then I offer myself gladly.
Get in my belly!
For those that watched last week's video, the next boss should be no surprise, Shadow Lord Iskar. After the events within Spires of Arak, Iskar was approached by Gul'dan with an offer. He helped Gul'dan with finding the Cipher of Damnation, and in exchange Gul'dan gave Iskar some delicious demon blood, which increased his power, and it also restored his ability to fly. When you enter Iskar's room, you can see him together with other Arakoa that joined the Fel Horde, and he's working on corrupting the Eye of Anzu. The Eye was granted to Terok, the Talon King, by Anzu himself, allowing him to communicate with the corrupted Arakoa, and now it seems like they're trying to infuse it with Fel energies. Thankfully the Eye is not fully corrupted yet, and its powers allow us to counter Iskar's attacks and bring him down.
Do you think you have won? You know nothing!
Along the way to the next boss, we encounter a few Dreadlords of the Legion. They're trying to stop us from reaching Sokravar and interrupting their binding. Sokravar the Eternal was part of the Alliance storyline way back at the start of Warlords of Draenor. He had betrayed the other Draenei Exarchs. He had joined Team Burning Legion since he believed that Vala was a fool for refusing Sargeras' offer of power and immortality. More of the Draenei were persuaded by Sokravar to join him, and at Shefrev, we together with Exarch Maladar and Lady Liedrin, we challenged Sokravar and we presumably took him out. It seems like Sokravar does not go down that easy, and here they're working on binding his soul to a construct. This is an old Draenei tradition where the greatest warriors have their souls imbued into gleaming constructs. We've even encountered one of these before during the Akendun dungeon, but now Sokravar, he's perverted this holiest of rituals, and he used a warped Fel construct to preserve his soul after his defeat in Talador. It's a good thing that we reached them before the ritual was fully completed, since this allowed us to kick Sokravar's soul out of the construct and use it ourselves.
The Nether! It consumes me!
Fel Lord Zakuun is next, but along the way to his fighting area, you can see a weird little prison with an eye beast standing guard over Draenei and orcs. I have no idea what this area is supposed to be or represent or what the story behind it is, but it looks pretty cool, so I thought I would mention it. Now Zakuun is speculated to be an evolved version of the common Fel Guards, and Fel Lords serve as enforcers in the direct service of our command. This one has been given a special job since Bolvar Fordragon, Gromash Hellscream, he's been captured by Gul'dan and they're working on breaking his legendary Iron Will.
Still holding out hope, Hellscream. Your precious horde will serve the Legion. We will never be slaves.
Hanging out to dry in the sun did nothing to break Gromash's will when the ogres tried to do it, and Zakuun had no better luck. We defeat the Fel Lords, and Gromash comes down to carve out his trophy.
My thanks to you. Now, leave me. I have a trophy to carve.
We'll let Gromash have his fun while making our way to Zul-Horak. Summoned by Gul'dan from the depths of the twisting nether, Zul-Horak is one of the most powerful of the Void Revenants, a race of parasitic void beings that tear holes through the planes of reality, consuming and absorbing the energies and beings within. Gul'dan has twisted Zul-Horak, feeding him overwhelming Fel energy and using his power to tear open the portals through which he plans to use to rally the forces of the Burning Legion. This information is taken directly from the Dungeon Journal, and unfortunately